The democratization of money. Bitcoin network claims to have solved two major problems that the present systems of banking face: the cost, speed, and convenience of money transfers, and trusting banks. Bitcoin network offers to make transfers as cheap and as fast and as convenient as using email. To protect it from a centralized control, it is fully open and decentralized. It is claimed that this, along with advanced mathematics, achieves trust in a trustless environment. As more and more people adopt Bitcoin, its value increases and mining becomes more and more profitable. This challenges the Bitcoin network with two new major problems: congestion for transactions and a danger of it being more and more centralized. Bitcoin network is undergoing a revolution to solve these problems as the network evolves. In order to scale the network for mass adoption, the bigger mining concerns would like the blocks of transactions they mine to be increased to accommodate more transactions. This also gives them a competitive advantage over the smaller miners who would rather solve the scaling problem by moving some of the transaction data off the blockchain and onto external networks. In the beginning, the people using Bitcoin were hobby Bitcoin miners who used their personal computers to mine. Proof of work is used to keep the miners honest. The proof of work used by Bitcoin network, referred as SHA-256 algorithm, is made purposefully very processor intensive. As more and more people adopted Bitcoin, its price increased to the level that mining became very profitable. Special, expensive, and power-hungry ASIC-based computers were developed and mining farms mushroomed, putting the lone hobby Bitcoin miner at home out of business. Mining centralization is probably one of the biggest challenges digital currencies face. Many of Bitcoin's properties, such as censorship resistance and double spending protection, rely to a large extent on a decentralized mining landscape. But over the years, the Bitcoin mining system has increasingly centralized into fewer hands and fewer geographical regions. In an attempt to solve this issue of centralization, a new proof of work was proposed that was memory intensive instead of processor intensive. Equihash is a memory-oriented proof of work, which means how much mining you can do is mostly determined by how much RAM you have. It is based on a computationally hard problem which requires a lot of memory to generate a proof, but is easy to verify. As a simplified example, the problem to solve could be analogous to listing 1,000,000 random numbers and finding 3 numbers in that list that when multiplied together gives a 4th number. This involves making a few simple calculations on very many numbers. This is opposed to the present Bitcoin proof of work, which involves making very many complex calculations on a few numbers. Both require heuristic random trial and error methods to get the right answer. Miners using Equihash can use cheaper and easier to obtain general purpose computers and memory chips instead of the more expensive ASIC-based ones produced by a few centralized companies. With this new ASIC-resistant proof of work, Equihash, it is hoped that Bitcoin network will remain decentralized. Equihash has other benefits over the proof of work presently used. It requires a lot less power to run, and the results can one day be useful for many applications such as number theory, statistics, and genome coding. This is opposed to the proof of work presently used, which only generates heat to prove that the miner has properly fulfilled his role as the bookkeeper of the ledger of Bitcoin transactions. Equihash makes other bold promises, such as miners being able to use their smart mobile phones to mine Bitcoin. With Equihash, every Bitcoin user can also be a Bitcoin miner, like in the beginning. The blockchain technology that Bitcoin runs uses consensus of 51% of the miners in an open distributed ledger of transactions. This achieves trust in a trustless environment and has attained great interest from other applications. Bitcoin as a virtual money blockchain application has attracted much interest. This will only increase in the future as more and more people adopt it, and will result in competitors offering virtual currencies with various mixtures of anonymity, security, speed of transactions, and acceptability. Competition is always good for the user. When there are more sellers than buyers for a particular currency, its price decreases. When there are more buyers than sellers, price increases. When there are more miners, transactions are confirmed sooner, and the difficulty level of solving the blockchain is increased. With less miners, the time to confirm increases, and the difficulty level of solving the blockchain is decreased. There are over 1,000 different cryptocurrencies, and most are similar to and derived from the first fully implemented decentralized cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. The safety, integrity, and balance of their ledgers is maintained by a community of miners who collectively have a financial incentive to maintain the security of the ledger. Cryptocurrencies are virtual cash that can be used without banks like fiat cash to buy goods and services. To sell bitcoins for fiat cash requires a traditional bank along with a bank or an exchange that deals with cryptocurrencies. With sufficient adoption of cryptocurrencies, it will be more and more possible to pay for things in the internet without ever having to go through banks, just like it is at present with cash. It is the users that determine the value of these virtual currencies, which determines which cryptocurrency miners are willing to mine for their rewards of newly issued currency and transaction fees for the block. Whether it be Zcash, Bitcoin Gold, which are ASIC resistant and allow users and hobby miners to mine profitably, Ethereum, which promises micropayments for applications, Monero for anonymity, Dash for instant transactions, Ripple for debt transfers, and many others with specific features like free transactions and scalability. The user, in the end, will decide how each is used and valued. Despite the many improvements with backward compatible soft forks and blockchain splitting hard forks that create new cryptocurrencies, we are still waiting for one that is scalable to millions of transactions per second, of nano payments with nano fees, with confirmation times of a few seconds, and without it having the risk of being centralized. To make cryptocurrencies totally independent of banks, the virtual currencies have to be used as cash is used at present. This is only dependent on adoption by the public. Many dedicated people are working on this goal, which can only be reached with competition. Once cryptocurrencies are ready to be used like cash, anonymously, instantly, securely, and everywhere, then cryptocurrencies will be used, and this will finally lead to the democratization of money and give control of money to the users.